right, assalamu alaikum guys. So this is the last part of this section that we did not do. So this is called verifying inverses, right? So remember we were talking about inverse functions, right? So let's take a look at this one over here, right? Let's take a look at this one over here, right? So it says f of x equals x plus 5 over 3 and g of x equals 3x minus 5. So remember f of x and g of x, that's kind of the same as like y equals this, y equals that. So they're telling us that these two are inverses, right? So first of all, let's take this one. So there's two different ways that we could do this, right? Let's do it the way that we were doing it before, right? So I'm first going to take this one and write it on the board. F of x equals x plus 5 over 3, all right? So I'm going to write that first. F of x equals x plus 5 over 3. All right, so let's take a look at this one right here, right? So remember, what do we do when we have inverses, right? Or we want to find the inverse, right? We take the x and y and switch it, right? So f of x is basically like the y, right? So I'm going to just write that as y, just for right now, right? I'm going to write that as y, just to make it like a little bit simpler, just so we understand what's going on, right? So to find the inverse, right, we switch the x and the y. So I'm going to switch the x and the y. But now I have to solve for my new y, right? So I have to solve for this new y. So what do I do first? I multiply by 3. I multiply both sides by 3 so I could cancel this out, okay? So that gives me 3x equals y plus 5. I subtract 5, so I get 3x minus 5 equals y. So this right here is the inverse of our original function right here, right? These two are inverses, right? I switched the x and the y, and I solved for where the y is now, okay? Now, this is one way to do it, right? So this is so we can verify that this is what they, had over here, right? 3x minus 5, and this was our original, and we got 3x minus 5, right? Now, this is the method that they're showing us, right? So let's use. All right, let's use their method. So they want us to verify that these two are inverses, right? So one way is kind of this, right? I could just switch it and then solve, and I get the other one. That's one way to verify that these two are inverses, right? But here's another way. Here's another way that they're showing you, right? So we have these two right here, right? So they're telling us that f of x equals x plus 5 over 3, and g of x equals 3x minus 5, like this, right? These are 2. So remember yesterday we were doing this thing right here. F of g of x, right? Right? So what does that mean, right? It means that we take g of x, this whole thing here, and we put it in place of the x in f of x, okay? So if these two are inverses, when we do this, we should end up simplifying to just x. Okay? So let's see if that works, right? I'm going to take g of x, whatever g of x is, 3x minus 5, and I'm going to put it in place of x. Okay? And I should get x when I simplify it out. Okay? So let's try that. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in there, right? So I have x plus, right? So remember f of x is x plus 5 over 3, but in place of x, I'm going to put in all of g of x. So I'm going to erase x here. I'm going to put this whole thing in, 3 of x minus 5. See that? I just put that whole thing in place of x in the other one. So if I simplify this, negative 5 plus 5 equals 0. Right? So I just have 3x on top. 3 of x divided by 3 equals x. So that's what I got. So if these two are inverses, if you do this, it will simplify to x, right? And you can do it in either order, right? I could take this and plug it in here, or I could take this and plug it into x in this one. All right, so now let's do the opposite way. Instead of f of g of x, let's do g of f of x. Let's do it like this. g of f of x. So this time I'm going to take f of x and I'm going to put it where x is right here. Okay, so my g of x is what? 3x minus 5. Okay, where this x is, I'm going to put this whole thing. I'm going to take this whole thing right here and I'm going to plug it in right here. Okay, so I'm going to plug that whole thing in there. So when I do that, what happens? You notice that there's this x plus 5 divided by 3, and now it's being multiplied by 3. So the times 3 and the divided by 3 are going to be canceled out. So you're just going to have x plus 5 over there. Right? You just have that x plus 5 on top on that side. And then you have minus 5. So what is x plus 5 minus 5? These two go away, right? 5 minus 5. And you just have x left. Right? So if these two, again, if these two are inverses, then when you do this, when you take one of them and plug it into x in the other one, it's going to overall simplify to x. Right? Now, let's look at the graphing thing that we were doing yesterday. All right. So yesterday we were talking about how if two things are inverses, right? If two functions are inverses, they're going to be symmetric about this line, right? So remember this line over here, y equals x, right? So this is the line y equals x, right? So let's plug in. I'm going to put in the two. I'm going to put in the two equations that we just did in the video, right? So y equals 3x minus 5, right? Remember this was one of them, right? So the red line, right, is y equals x. And then the blue line is one of our equations. Now the other one was this one here. I think it was x plus 5 divided by 3. So what do you notice? You notice that these two lines, the green line and the blue line, right, our two functions, are symmetric around this line, right? Kind of on the left side, or on this side of the red line, it's a mirror image as on the right side. So when two things are inverses, when two functions are inverses, that's the pattern that you're going to see. You're going to see that they are that they have a mirror image about the line y equals x.